Well, welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. Holy fucking moly, it's quite the day. It is quite the day indeed. A nice $5,000 dildo just appears out of nowhere and everyone's happy yet again. It's good times, right? Anyways, with that said, I want to wish everyone a happy and healthy start to this nice little Friday over here from Helsinki, Finland. It's still dark as fuck outside, actually, because it's October, and, well, we live in the great north. Hibernation times. Anyways, I see a great comment over here from Mr. Craig T. When Bitcoin dumps within minutes, it feels like someone died. Sorry, it's not funny. When Bitcoin puts the market on its shoulders and rockets, it's like a crate of Red Bull whilst having your nipples clamped to the mains. That's exactly fucking right, my friend. The emotions of the markets, they never stop. They never go away. I can assure you of that. After very long of doing this, I'm sure that anyone else who's anyone else has been doing this, you can probably test this as well. It always feels the same, man. It's always fun, and it's always doom, and it's always a new moon as well. So with that said, we're back at it again, baby. We're back at it again. I do want to talk a little bit about this old pumpola right here. If you were not on this morning's video, and if you were not on yesterday's video as well, basically what we did say was Bitcoin back above about $44,000 would initiate a move to about $47,000. We're about there right now, actually. That happened quite quickly, however, I would say. And now the question is this the big trap or not? Is it fuck or not right now? Because right now it looks a little bit like fuck, but I'm curious to see if it is not. So with that in mind, this weekend actually is actually going to mean a lot to myself, more importantly, mostly because if this does start to pump into the weekend, meaning that Bitcoin, grinds up around $48,000, I would start to look at this as maybe a little bit more on the trappier side. But for right now, things do look good. Obviously, after a $5,000 dildo right in your face, it's going to look naturally good. Obviously, Bitcoin even heading up all the way to that $48,000 level. But let's see exactly where we are, and let's actually kind of dial things back for a second here, because there are a few major things to be aware of. But before I get into that, I should say, wow, first off, holy shit, we had 100 likes before the stream even started. This is like becoming normal now, which is kind of ridiculous, but again, a sincere thank you for that. That is rather helpful and also just cool as fuck. So thank you for that. Massive thank you. And dear Lord, man, we actually have a full house right here as well. CED says time to sell, perhaps. Yes. I mean, it depends. Like, are you looking for a short-term scalp or something like that? Of course, there's plenty of different time frames to be trading. Your hair must be really bad if you have a hat on. Actually, I wear a hat pretty often. I just let it go during the morning because, well, what the fuck? It's kind of just fun to be doing. Anyways, I'm going to turn off the alerts for right now. But I suspect that we'll just have a bit more of a relaxed stream here, because why the hell not, man? We've already gotten all the major and interesting things spoken about on this morning's video, and now it's kind of just fun times abound. But I do want to... Oh, what's up, IBLB, man? It's been a long time. Good to see you still around, brother. Goddamn. I see Greg Smith as well, a nice OG of the cave. I see a lot of old faces here. This is awesome, man. This is fucking great. Anyways, so I do want to talk about this right here. So one of the reasons why that $47,000 region was a target is because it was last month's open, that being September, obviously. And of course, it was also one of our major breakdown areas coming in from actually late September as well. So a natural area to come back and retest. But realistically, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, it's actually more or less, if you do want to be bearish right here, you're probably not looking for this to fall apart in one day. In fact, I'd say it's extremely unlikely to fall apart in one day. So if you are looking for the short, so to speak, which I'm not saying it's like a good idea or a bad idea right now, but I'd say that it's certainly a bad idea today, or very likely to be a bad idea today if you're looking to hold that, for like an actual move here. Anyways, with that in mind, this is a backfill on last month's open. Yes, we can get a bit of a wick above here, but overall, now we can come back down into lower term timeframes in comparison to that on a daily, and of course come up with some areas of actual interest right now. So again, nothing's really actually changed here as far as daily structure goes, even with this $5,000 dildo right here. Obviously, that was very relevant for the short and medium-term timeframes and a very tradable play. And congratulations to everyone who took that. That was a fucking phenomenal one. But now we do have to play the game of, is Bitcoin going to get over $48,000 or more? Or not. And in this case right here, it's actually not necessarily 48. It's about 48,250. Someone had a really good question in the Discord earlier today as well, because I've been speaking about this area for the past 2 to 3 weeks now. That was 18th of September. And I'd really want to see a daily above that region in order to like fully, look at this as like, okay, this is incredibly fucking bullish. Things are going to generally be up and to the right once again. I'd generally be looking towards prior all-time highs. Of course, it's going to be stops along the way, no shit. But generally speaking, I would be looking for a very bullish beginning of October rather than late October, which is what I was kind of postulating early today. But remember, we also closed the quarterly last night, or I guess, yeah, a little last night for myself. If you're in the Western Hemisphere, well, just regular during the day. And of course, we did close right around that $44,000 level. So that does set in the buys, at least for myself, and perhaps you as well, if you agree with this, for a very likely new all-time high before end of year. So now for me, as a trader, it's more or less timing something like this. Not that I'm necessarily like looking to, trade into a long-term position. Of course, I just kind of, hold Bitcoin anyways for that purpose. I basically just take money from my trading account and just put it into a wallet and don't really touch it because I don't really have any need to. But some people want that explained, which is rather interesting, but fair enough. I'm happy to do that. Anyways, more importantly with this, this is good. This is bullish long term, obviously. The question is what happens in October, because I do still think that, if Bitcoin is going to put in a bit of a lower high right here, this would be the place to be doing it. And this would be your trappish area. And of course, mid to low $30,000 territory is still very much within the cards. So while this does look really, really good for right now, I do want to kind of dial back a little bit of the excitement. Not to say that, it's not warranted. Obviously, it fucking is after a, $5,000 rally right there. But just be aware of kind of where we are at in the grand scheme of things. And I imagine that both early shorters right now and late longers at this exact moment probably going to be having a very uneventful rest of the day, probably even the weekend as well. And just as a general notion right here, now it all comes down to where do we close and what happens, preferably actually over the weekend. This is one of the few times that I'm really going to be very adamant about weekend price action. And what do I mean by that? Basically, whatever Bitcoin does over the weekend, I would be looking at that as a contra signal for the actual direction, especially for the next week to come. But realistically, I guess this would carry on to the rest of the month as well. So if Bitcoin does start to pop back up over the weekend, especially, and fails to really close above about 48,300 or so, and grinds up anywhere around there without closing above it, that would look not so good coming into next week. Of course, we got a bear on moon as well, so that things are, of course, not so good after that, right? And by the same token, if Bitcoin pulls back over the weekend, that would look really, really good. I would be looking to maybe even play position, perhaps. Usually I don't care about weekend price action. Usually I don't trade it. I mean, sometimes if there's like a really obvious one, I will, but for the most part, I don't. I have no real interest. But in this case right here, we do have a very interesting setup, and I do want to point out a few things. So let's just postulate, come up with a few hypothetical situations, because this is all preparation realistically for the week, for like the next, 5 to 7 days to come. And what would happen if Bitcoin does fail to get back above that $48,000 level right here? Well, as of right now, we already are making higher highs on daily RSI, which would imply that if Bitcoin does essentially put in a high anywhere around here, we will have hidden bearish divergence, and that will be a targeted move back down around to 42 to 43,000 bucks. By the same token, obviously the 12 hour is going to have it in there as well, but this one a lot more exaggerated, coming in from our last few highs over here. This was again middle of September on this high at just above 48,000 bucks, and then I imagine the 2-day might have it as well. Let's see. No, the 2-day does not have it. In fact, the 2-day has something that is completely contradictive to that. And of course, this one's a lot more close to actually being confirmed as well, which means that it's, it's more relevant and more powerful. And it's also, double the time frame as well on top of a daily. So this would be, extra good. And we have potential hidden bullish divergence actually going to be confirmed here as soon as actually later today. In fact, any sort of a closure basically above 45,000 bucks will do it. So that also comes up with an idea of what would the ranges be, or if I am looking at just straight up price action, not looking at momentum oscillators, where would I essentially be calling this a trap situation, or where would I not look at this as a trap if it fails to go below, just come up with some areas on the other side. It's actually very simple right here, just back below about 45,500, especially on a 12 hour, or of course a daily as well, but certainly a 12 hour, that would start to look pretty damn bad. And once again, turn on the bear boosters, if you will, back for a move down to the low $40,000 territory. Probably even sets it up for a break lower over time. But for right now, this is rather interesting right here. And I do want to call something out as well. So Plan B, if you're familiar with him, you probably are. If you're familiar with me, you're definitely familiar with Plan B. He's got a humongous Twitter account, and for good reason. He puts out some pretty interesting information out there. And basically he has this thing called the stock to flow model, right? Actually, let me just pull this one up, because I can just pull this up really, really simply here. And I want to point out something that I find incredibly interesting about this. I think that this guy, regardless of what you think of the model, this one particular feature of it is very interesting. And it's this. So he came up with this S2F model. Basically, it comes up with all these moon boy targets. to be fair, the S2F model seems a little bit questionable for what it's worth. But what's certainly not questionable is what he considers or what he considers like the floor model of that, which is a derivation from it. I don't have the full data on it, but more importantly, he's been accurately calling or accurately predicting the floor prices for end of month very consistently, incredibly consistently. And what he's calling, or what his model, I should say, is calling for end of October is, $63,000. He called 43,000 end of September. We got that. He called 47,000 August. We got that. And he actually got a few more before that as well. And you can see that gets, infinitely more interesting towards the end of the year. In fact, the December price, 135, would be kind of the top end, or a little bit above, actually. I think I have up to about 130,000 as potential or a potential high for this macro cycle that we are, I believe, currently in. So that is looking really, 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 really good right there. Anyways, could that come alongside of a move down, below 40,000 bucks in the interim? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're right at the beginning of this month. So, understand that in a month, there's 30 fucking days. There's a great guy in the Discord earlier who's like, fuck you, Krown. You got it wrong. You're talking about some downside targets. Like, well, look, man, when you're looking at a monthly, you need to like go on a monthly schedule, not even on a half day. But fair enough. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, of course. And looking at this right here, this does look, of course, good for right now. 5-day is not closing today, but it will be closing tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, if this does close above, if this closes above 48,000 bucks, there's going to be no question in my mind. We very, very likely see 50,000 as next target, and just onwards and upwards from there with short-term pullbacks in between there. It looked really fucking good. So a lot's going to be riding, especially on this next few days here, and really going to set the tone and set the buy season for not just the next month to come, realistically the next 3 months to come, kind of judging like how aggressive this current move actually is. Anyways, is there anything that I'm missing right now? We can get in some comments soon enough as well. What do we see right here? Daily Jewel is starting to get some positive curvature as well. Not necessarily like the best of the best signal that I'm typically looking for, but it is good on momentum. It is supported by DMI, so probably does support the upside as well, is what I should say. 12-hour actually did get a really, really good signal coming off the last low. I think Hirosh in the Discord called that one out. Good job on you, sir. He actually said it as well. He's like, this is going to be the signal. I'm like, all right. I didn't fucking expect anything like that. Jesus Christ, man, powerful. Looking good right there. And then 4-hour, we can see, of course, BBWPR, volatility-based indicators, really starting to get above about 95 percentile. So, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to kind of chop around this region. If we throw on our drawing tools over here, you can see that not on this chart. I want to go to my other chart. Yes, this one is the one that we're working off of right now. Hey, stop that. You can see that, God damn it, it's being hidden by my projections right there. You can see that we're gonna, we probably have a range between about the 618 right here at about 48,000 bucks, and in the 0.5 at about 46,500 or so. So I'd be looking for Bitcoin to kind of chop around there, probably in the next couple days here. And then what happens over the weekend? Does Bitcoin try for a move to the upside? If it does, that's going to look not so good in my opinion. If it actually pulls back over the weekend, especially somewhere down around low 46 or even 45,500 without actually breaking it, I would interpret that as actually rather good. Anyways, I suppose that we can go over these over here. I'm sure that they're all going to be massively bullish right now, but perhaps it's worth checking in on. Yep, daily Stokes, as we looked at this morning, very, very likely to continue with the upside. 42,850 right there, going to be the magical number. Obviously, the 12 hour is going to be, fucking girthy right there as well. Buy daily will be crossing up tonight with any sort of a closure above 42,350. Probably going to happen. And then 5-day will not pop up just yet. And again, it's not closing tonight, it's closing tomorrow, but above 50,000 bucks it will. So that'll look pretty damn good as well. And then weekly is completely negating all of that. So again, I do want to express some caution here. If Bitcoin is going to have a bull trap, this is very likely to be the area that it comes in from. Again, I don't think it's going to fall over in one day if it's going to happen. Very likely, happens like early next week if it's going to happen. But 51,500 going to be the magical number on the weekly Stokes right there, of course. And then I also want to remind myself, if we go over here to our fundamental charts, what do we have? We have a negative slope on the accumulation distribution indicator. All of those negative slopes Well, I mean, to be fair, this one started like a couple months ago right here, but they've all had more, essentially more pullback than what we've seen thus far. So let me actually kind of go through this for a second here with a little bit more of some sombering details perhaps, but I do think that it is relevant. And what do we see? We do see anytime that it's had a slope change, and we're going to talk about the downside slopes here. Obviously, the upsides are relevant as well, but that's just not what we're doing right now. And in the past, anytime that we've seen it, it typically forecasts the slope change 1 month before the actual, inevitable downfall. So in this case right here, happened on January, as you can see. And then of course, February actually made a new high in that rally, but from that high to next low on a closing basis was about 40%. On a wick basis, about 65%. Something worth considering right there. We can go to this one as well. This one right on over here in March 2018, again, gets a negative slope right there, pops up the next month, does not take out the prior high, by the way. And initially about a 40% move to the downside. Sounds familiar. And then, carries on for a 70% move to the downside. What do we see over here? This one's actually very interesting to me because this was within the context of an overall bull market, of course. And we did get a negative slope between there, and it did produce about a 40% correction actually. And of course we have two more iterations. We can talk about this one over here. Getting the high, initially having a nice downside move. Actually, this one very aggressive, like 71%, and then ultimately 86%. And then this one over here, obviously, this was going to be another like major, massive downside move, 85%. So with that in mind, let's just kind of see where we're at right now, as we have had a negative slope on this for the past few months. And what have we seen thus far? About almost a 30% move to the downside, close to it, a little bit under there. But is that relevant to what we've seen in the past? Not really. And where would 40% put us down? Around $32,000 actually, which is rather interesting because $32,000 also would be around actually not around the weekly 55. That one's actually coming in around $37,000 right now. But I imagine the monthly 21 is going to be coming up around there. Yeah, somewhere right around there. As you can see, it's starting to rapidly rise up. Right around about $32,000 right now, in fact. So hey, stop that. Maybe looks a little bit better like this. And again, that would, if you are looking at this from a macro perspective on the monthly, the 21 on the monthly is still like, that's still bullish. That's where you expect your corrections to come down to throughout the month, or not throughout the month, but throughout, a monthly trend, of course. And in this case right here, coming back down, around $32,000 really wouldn't be all that problematic for the macro. So this is, I do still think that this is actually rather relevant, but, understand this, it's probably going to take some time if it is going to play out. Until then, bulls have the balls in their court right now. Obviously, they're a lot closer to the resolution to the upside, at least in my book. I'm curious if other people actually out there would agree or not. But you can see, just generally speaking, the yellow 21 on the monthly has essentially gotten, your bull market support and your bear market resistance. And anytime that Bitcoin's above it, generally good. Anytime it's below it, generally bad. There's a fucking noobish way to be using it, but fair enough. I mean, it works pretty well in this asset, to be fair. So, as long as Bitcoin's above it, it is a macro bull as far as I'm concerned. But for right now, that would offer up a quite a significant move, as you can see. So, like I said, a lot's going to be decided within the next few days here. But this is a day to remember. It's a nice day, which is why I wanted to do another stream. Also, Else is not here, so said fuck it. I don't have anything better to be doing, so might as well look at the old dildos right here and get on with our very merry day. So let's actually go down to the very low term time frames right now. Are we looking for a pullback right here? Yep. I would be looking for a bit of a range, and in this case we already tested the range highs. Probably going to test a little bit of the short term range lows and find out where some buyers perhaps step in. And like I said, about 46,500 is kind of where I'd be looking for for a short term time frame. Perhaps intraday today. We also see that BBWP is on the absolute fucking ceiling on the hourly, as you would expect. What about the 4 hour? Getting up there? Yeah, we addressed that earlier at about 95 percentile. So I do have to warn you, I have no help today for the chatties, so I cannot pull up some of the old chats. So I'm just gonna, I feel really bad because I see that some people actually send some chats right now. Hey, what's up, Sacred? Yes, we're very sneaky today. Extremely sneaky, sir. I'll try to pull up a little bit further back here and see how much I can get. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to pull up all of them. So again, I do apologize about that. I know that it's fucking annoying. But it's the best that I can do right now, man. Anyways, okay, so what was I on? Yes, okay, I wanted to talk about, of course, Dixie. I think actually someone asked about that, in fact. I saw it at the corner of my eye. Dixie pulling back during this whole move as well. But again, if you're looking at the macro scale right here on the monthly, This is not a bearish setup on the monthly. This is very, very bullish on the monthly. This is a nice W bottom right here, and I would not be surprised to see this thing work its way back above 95, 96 before end of year. Does that necessarily mean that Bitcoin is destined to go down alongside of that? No. It of course is relevant to a basket of other fiat currencies, but there is some indications that it might, put some pressure, perhaps. And this is quite the fucking setup right here. You don't get these too often, where BBWP on the fucking monthly got all the way down to single digits, as you can see, and now expanding from there. And we have a very obvious low, and this would be a higher low actually compared to our 2018 highs right here. So this is first and foremost a healthy long-term, very fucking long-term consolidation, which is rather interesting. So do be aware of that, of course. And then what do we have in traditional markets? Open it up on a bounce, as we did say was likely, which I suspect actually probably goes a little bit more here. Again, what was kind of the catalyst or the sort of narrative around this last major move to the downside? A lot of it was spun upon by the infrastructure bill. Maybe not getting passed or getting passed or whatever, or the debt limit ceiling or whatever the fuck. In my experience, and I'm sure yours as well, I've never seen a scenario where the debt limit has not gotten raised. I have seen government shutdowns. I think we all saw them like a few years ago, perhaps. But as far as the debt limit, which I think matters a little bit more, especially in the context of markets right now, that I have a hard time believing that that's going to get denied, right? It's probably going to happen at maybe the last second or so, and in between there, you're going to see all sorts of games being played, and I believe that that's what we're seeing right now. But for what it's worth, we came down all the way to the weekly 21. I mean, this is not bullish right here, don't get me wrong. However, a bounce back up anywhere around 15,000 is certainly fair game. Maybe coming into early next week, and then, well, game on once again if we want to play out the downtrend. The magical number to beat is about 15,350. Again, I think that this thing could get anywhere around $15,000, but let's keep in mind where we're at right now. The monthly close as a bearish engulfing dildo. We haven't had one of those in a very long time. We haven't had one of those in a very, very long time. Not only that, but the quarterly closed as a gravestone dildo right there too. I mean, I can't even find it. I actually can't even find one here. I see it. I see some dojis around the way, but a gravestone actually does imply a little bit more. And of course, this is also congruent with what we see on SPY as well. Same setup right here. Same sort of bearish engulfing as well. Or actually, did we get an engulfing? Yeah, we did, just by a few bucks, but it did happen. So fair enough. And I would be looking for, again, that 15 to 20% correction. October, November this year, probably in traditional markets, of which that's fucking ugly right there. Yeah, that is fucking ugly. So the question is, does Bitcoin differentiate itself now? Is this the real hedge nowadays or not? Because up until this point, it just has not really been. It's been mostly trading with traditional markets, especially on the lower term timeframes, not necessarily on the macro, because obviously they were making new highs while Bitcoin was not. but hey, maybe this time is different, right? Maybe this time is different. Perhaps, as Bitcoin does mature as an asset class, I suspect that it will. But my sort of theory going on right now, and I'm sure that this is not just mine, I'm sure that many other people think very, very similar things to this, because, you fucking tell me. How about that? But basically, we're in a liquidity bubble with the way that, with the way that everything's going, and that seems to be keeping everything up, all assets, all things around the board. We'll see how this one ends, because apparently someone posted in the Discord earlier. Sorry, I posted in the Discord actually earlier a tweet. Let me just pull it up again. Where the fuck was that one? Where did you land over there? Where did you land over there? Yeah, Fed's Kashkari came out and said, we have no need for a Fed rate raise until 2024. So maybe never. Maybe fucking never. How about that? That is just so insane, man. That's so fucking, it's so insane to me that we can just get away with this, or maybe we get away from it now, but maybe not in the long term. But I suspect that a lot of these people, who are in power right now, they probably won't have to deal with it once the chickens come to hatch, or the eggs are coming to fruition, or whatever. But I can't imagine that ends too well. But for now, I guess the party continues. I'm also seeing a new news source. However, this is unverified. I want to be very, very direct in saying this. It is on Yahoo News, but they are very very uncurated, we'll say, that Ripple actually won their legal fight, which I think was kind of I think most people were thinking, but now it would be official if this is indeed true. Unverified though, but it is coming in a couple of news sources. Not anything that I trust so much, but hey, fair enough. That would be, I suppose, that would be good for the general market, of course. So I'm gonna take a sip of this water. We can chat through some comments. I don't know how long I'll be on here. I do need to get to a sauna session, and I need to eat a shit ton of meat as well. But I'm good to go for right now, man. So let me just take a sippy sip of this, and we're good to go. Ah. The sweet, sweet sounds, baby. The sweet, sweet sounds. There we go. There we fucking go. All right, let me see where I can pull up over here. I see Mike. Mike? God damn it. Stop making fun of me, man. Oh, wow, on my time. Good day, sir. Good day to you. Good day to you as well, Mr. Ricky Bobby. Maybe I should bring this time back. This time is actually ripe with the old Americans, my fellow countrymen who haven't been living in that country for so long now. It's not even my country anymore, I don't think. They won't take me back, sir. Oh, there we go. Ramon says, hello, good sir. Hello, Mr. Good Sir. The Dixie chart looks interesting. Yes, indeed it does. Long term, I'm still very, very bullish on that. In fact, if I were to, call somewhere to be looking for, a bit of a bounce and perhaps even a macro, or it's not a low, obviously, but a bit of a bounce before general continuation, it'd probably be where we're at right now, actually. Where was that chart? Where's that goddamn chart? There it is. I found it. Monthly right here. Yeah, anywhere between here and about 93 and in 3/4 looks good. That is obviously fucking bullish. That is not something that you get to see every month or every year, for example. Anyways, what's up, Mr. Rita? Yeah, we can look at some shitcoins, I guess. Sure. Can you look at OIN USD short and long time frames with Miss Elsa? Yeah, man, I miss Elsa as well. She's actually coming back tomorrow, so we can troll the shit out of her soon enough. OIN finance. Okay, this is all right. This one's way out of left field. I don't think I've ever heard of this one. Not bad of a chart though. At least for like the last few months over here, going back to July. This is very constructive actually. Hidden bullish evidence on the last daily low right there. Good. Short term, need to see it hold above about 40 cents, and then I'd target the prior highs on this rally. See invalidation on this one, and probably get bearish below about 35 cents or so. Revisiting the lows and maybe even topple over after that. But until that happens, man, I mean, this is generally good. I suppose it's again, I'm always a little bit inquisitive or critical when I see something that's actually been trading for a long time like that, but I've never heard of it myself. But then again, I could just be uneducated on the facts. So perhaps that would be one of those scenarios, sir. Generally good though. Generally good. Long-term timeframes, well, it looks mostly up, sir. Sushi, hey, what's up, Sushi? Missing the whole move makes me feel like absolute shit. Sir, there's always the next one, my friend. There's always the next one. After staring this chart down for a week straight, I know, man. It always feels like it happens like that. It's just the nature of the game. But, I suspect that you're probably not leaving the game today. So that means that you're very, very likely to have another opportunity. Well, just in a matter of time, realistically. Oh, Mr. Rick Lewis, what's up, man? Bring this time back to the days of old. Man, I might be able to do it. I've kind of switched around a little bit of my training and diet schedule, so perhaps this time might actually work. It mostly just remains of a function of like how much energy I have, I think. Like before, I don't know how the fuck I was doing it before, man. I used to do 2 live streams a day, and man, that was just... How the fuck did my voice hold up during that time? I used to go to like sushi buffet every day too, and I've like a severe intolerance for a lot of things there. But man, I'd be talking on the fucking microphone, farting my ass, but no one can hear me, man. No one can hear me. That noise gate is nice and strong. See what else we got over here. Ibby says, when Twitch sesh? Yeah, man, I haven't been doing any Twitch recently. I kind of took a bit of a break from gaming. I don't know, man. I need to find a new game. Mortal Souls could probably be it, kind of similar to Dark Souls, or Mortal Shell is actually what it is. But we'll probably bring it back soon enough, man. I won't stray away from gaming for too long. I have been enjoying a lot of time in VR though, man. VR is still the shit. Man, that's where everything's going. Soon enough, we're going to be having streams in the metaverse, baby. Oh, it is. And speaking of, there's Metaverse Bubsy. What's up, man? It's me. You said, what? It's me, Metaverse Bubsy. That's right, man. Good morning to you. SEC is here. The SEC is here, sir. Is Krown turning into a crypto zombie? Actually, it's just 420 right now, in fact. Funny you call it exactly that time, man. Dank Frank, beautiful name to follow up on that. Hey, dude, thanks. Hey, all good, man, all good. Thank you for that. That's that's actually super cool, man. Because if there's one thing that at least I would hope that I can give off in videos or streams like this isn't to like fucking spoon feed people, because everyone has different plans and whatnot. But it's more or less like, look, here's how you put down a fucking plan. Here's how you back test a plan. Here's how you forward test a plan. If you can do that, you can. Like, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do this. I mean, shit, man, like less intelligent people than you, like me, figured it out. So you can probably do it too. It's just a matter of being fucking militant with following that plan. And of course, doing the old testing and everything too, which people are like very averse to. But man, when you have something that could like potentially give you a living, it's a lot easier to be strict with it, which I think is, I don't know, for me it's a no-brainer. For other people maybe it's just different. Hey, what's up, KK? Hello, sir. What's up, XRP Africa? There he is. What's up, man? Actually, let's go look at XRP. Speaking of, because they did have maybe a decision, because that would be really, really good. Yeah, looking good here. Looking pretty damn good here, actually. Looking pretty damn good here for right now. But 105, 106 going to be a major area in my opinion. I do like it long term. This is obviously bullish long term. The question is, do we get one more move down to like 75 to 80 cents or so? Maybe, but long term, man, this is a really good setup right here as well. Hate Ripple all you want, but that chart's fucking bullish. That chart's very bullish. Jesus Christ, man. Ripple, powerful, man. They know how to market. Hey, thanks for that crypto hit list. Hopefully, I'm not on your crypto hit list though. Nice one, sir. Fucking nice. D-Bond says, new here. Amazing. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And welcome, man. Good to meet you. Take down your pants and get ready for some ramming, sir, because this is crypto land, baby. Any chance of giving thoughts on VET USD? Yeah, we could do that. Let's see. So this one was really, really popular like 3-4 months ago. Then no one really cares about it too much anymore, it seems like. It's falling a little bit on this pump, a little bit of a laggard here, which is not the best sign in my opinion. If I'm looking for lower highs, I'm looking for literally right here at about 11 cents to 11.5 cents. That also would imply if this thing can start to close above there, it's probably going to run quite a fair bit to 13.5 or so. Let's see, what does the weekly look like? Weekly already corrected down to the 55. Like, this is what I'd want to see on Bitcoin. For example, that would be like super, super obvious. In this case right here, this one's already done it. Dare I say that, maybe a little bit more sideways here. It's certainly possible, but overall, do you think that the lows are generally in on this one at around 8 cents or so? Monthly, not the strongest of all time, but again, well, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt in this case. Again, but be aware of this area right here. Where would I start to be really concerned with this one? Going for another revisit of the lows, but probably not making new lows in this case. Probably just retesting lows. Back down below about 10 cents even. In fact, just really, really simple right there, actually. That'd be kind of the area that I'm watching for right now, for what it's worth. Let's see where we're at in the grand scheme of things. I'm just curious. I imagine we're probably at one of the major fibs. Yeah, we're right at the 382, so it's certainly not ready long term or anything like that. You can't really get too excited on this one as long as you're below about 15 cents, but yeah, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt here. It's very likely putting some lows at 8 cents. The question is, does it come back down around there again? Because if this one does top out here at about 11 cents, we will have some hidden bearish divergence on the daily, and that probably is going to be good enough to send it back down there. For what it's worth, though, momentum also does disagree with that in general. Getting more long signals than not. So probably just being a little bit being too prudent here. Yeah, buy daily is looking really, really good actually. So fair enough, man. Probably does move its way up to 12.5, 13 cents actually. Not bad. I imagine though, as always, it's going to be tethered to whatever Bitcoin does. So if Bitcoin does turn down below like 46,500 or so, or it was 45,500. Well, everything probably goes down the drain with it as well. There we go, baby. There we fucking go. Feltima says, I wish there was a cure for ADHD. There is. It's called Ritalin or Adderall, sir. Matthew D says, hey, nice. Oh, the D must be for Detroit. Would like to get your perspective on MKR. I'm scouting a reversal here. All right. Well, I suspect if it's part of the crypto market, I mean, they're all kind of doing the same thing. But yeah, definitely weak. Definitely a laggard here as well. The question is, this is the area that you'd be looking for if you are going to be long-term bullish as being a low. But kind of same thing as VET right here. You know, how many times does it want to grind out about 2,000 or just above 2,000? Could definitely happen a few more times. You know, short term, I'm actually inclined to say that this one probably puts in a bit of a short-term top somewhere around here. Hard to be bullish on this one below 2,700 especially. I'd kind of be looking for a range around the lows, and then maybe later this year it gives another try to the upside. Monthly is not good. You know, the monthly actually is saying bearish as fuck actually. I just don't know how much I would trust something like that if the rest of the market kind of shows a different picture in general. So monthly kind of says, yeah, you might tag 2,600 or sorry 2,700, but that's probably sell. Kind of perusing around the different time frames right here, just out of curiosity. Yeah, definitely not strong. Definitely not strong. I mean, if I'm looking at just the monthly, man, I'd be bearish as fuck. I'd be looking for this thing to come all the way back down to, you know, 1,400 or so. Barely follows on the upside moves. Definitely weak, man. Definitely weak. I think at best it kind of ranges on the lows between 26 and 21, and then hope that Bitcoin doesn't show too much weakness because this one might get absolutely fucking shikaked. What's up, Ashk? Hello, sir. What's up, man? Balamines, daily, weekly. Okay, I'm just gonna type it in here. I'm not familiar with the ticker, so let's see. Okay, it's it's a stock. All right, it's a real stock. All right, it's in India. Good, fine. Getting reaccumulated on the 21. Long term. That's a hell of a run right there. It depends what time frame you're looking at. Okay, you did say daily, weekly. So in this case, you know, daily's probably ranging a little bit more to be fair, but overall okay for those time frames. The monthly has me a little bit scared. Quarterly says nope, this one's bullish as fuck. Very likely makes new all-time highs before end of year. I'd probably stick with that as well. The question is, does it pull back first into below about 4,000? That's what I'm not so hot on right now. I mean, if it does start to close daily dildos below about 44.20 especially, yeah, I'd be looking for a move down just below $4,000, and that would probably be a good area. But long term, very good, very good on the quarterly, which just closed. Pretty damn good on the monthly as well. But a backfill on last month open, where is that going to be? 4,000 as well. So wouldn't certainly not out of the question right there. And then probably goes through a bit more of some sideways over November, and then maybe gives another try to the upside in like early 2022. Other than that, I don't really have a strong opinion on this one. If I had to call it right now, though, I do think that it actually holds this area right here at about 44.20 or so. But again, just a nice easy pivot right there. If it does break down, then hey, just look for the next major area, and probably does at least give a little bit of a try there, and then we can come back to it a bit later. Let's see. Dalton says FA versus TA are two things. Yeah, I mean, there's always like the incendiary discussion of, fundamental analysis versus technical analysis, but I don't know any fundamental analyst who doesn't also use technical analysis who's also successful. And most technical analysis that I know, like myself, are probably mostly charts, but look, like if you're going to be dealing with traditional markets, for example, or Forex, for example, you have to be aware of monetary policy, right? So if that's going to come into the equation, do you also study a little bit of fundamental analysis? Obviously, yes. So it's never like one thing or the other, more or less when it comes to these sort of things. Like, it's just like with anything else, man. You don't have like a 100% one thing, you don't have 100% the other thing. You probably mix and match a little bit. But for myself, I'm a lot more weighted on the TA side of things. I really don't know too many people who like are super weighted on fundamental analysis. It's kind of like, where do you place your fucking stop off of fundamental analysis? I don't know. It'd kind of be a nightmare in my opinion, but perhaps people have their ways, right? Let's see what else do we have here. I think I skipped a few actually, my bad. Adrian says XRP Africa's having a limafo. Zeus, Mr. Adrian Zeus says thoughts on B Pro long medium term. Okay, we haven't checked out this one in about a couple weeks here, I think. Let's see where this one's at now. Let's see where this one's at. Why do people not ask about this one anymore? Is it down? Is it fuck or not on this one? Decent move to the upside there, but certainly a laggard yet again. A lot of these altcoins not following as much, which is which is kind of good, kind of bad. I mean, you do want altcoins to follow Bitcoin, but you want Bitcoin dominance. If Bitcoin truly is going to move its way onwards and upwards and pull through here, you want Bitcoin dominance to lead, you want Bitcoin to lead the move, which would imply that dominance generally goes up. Anyways, you asked about B Pro 4 hour and 8 hour. Again, man, I mean, you will have hidden bearish divergence with any sort of a lower high below about 860. What is that? 8.5 of a cent, basically. This baby right there. For right now, you know, are we looking a little bit toppy on the short-term time frames? No, it looks okay. I think 8 hour. Actually, don't even have an 8 hour on my chart anymore. I only go with 6. I haven't really found too much use for the 8 hour. 6 hour actually works relatively well, and they're pretty damn similar, anyways. Oh, sorry, that's the 8 day. We can go to the 8 hour though. Where is it? I still have it over here. There we go. All right, Trading View, show me the money. Trading View, please respond. The fuck? Come on. There we go. Dare I say it, man? I'd probably be looking for a little bit of a pullback here. You know, long term, is this one okay? Probably okay. If Bitcoin were to reverse in this region, I'd probably be looking for this thing to come down to 0.4 of a cent, actually. But for right now, you know, respect the upside, I suppose. Where would I confirm this as a local high and start to get bearish? Bearish is not the right term, but basically looking for a move back down to the prior lows at like 6.5 of a cent. If you start to close 4 hour deltas below about 7.5 of a cent, yeah, I would say so. You'd also confirm some hidden bearish divergence right there, and that wouldn't look too hot. But until then, you know, where are we at in the daily? Here would be a much more obvious signal. If you can close a daily above about 8.25 of a cent, that's at the point where I'd really start to look for this one to push through towards about 1 cent even. And this would start to look really, 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 really good. But kind of far away from right now. But hey, that would be the condition in this case. So hopefully that was helpful in some way, sir. Let's see, what else do we have over here? TEB says thoughts on LYXE hourly and daily. Hey, thanks, man. You're from Argentina? Sweet. Nice, man. You guys have like the best beef buffets, man. Really want to visit. I really want to visit South America just for that. Like, they're fucking amazing, man. But I also got banned from the only fucking steak buffet here, so it's only South America for me. Went to the fucking all-you-can-eat buffet, and I ate all that I could eat, and they got mad. Let's see. This one's pretty damn good. So, you know, we saw a lot of laggards earlier. This one would not be among them. This would be a pretty damn strong one. This is good. 4 hour very likely puts in a move back up to about 25 and a half or so. Nothing bearish about this, even on the short-term time frame, as long as you're above about 21 and a half. You know, if you do lose that area, I'd be looking down around 18.25, but I don't think that's what's happening right here, but that would be invalidation. Hidden bullish evidence on the daily right here. Multiple draws coming off the lows. Volatility starting to, well, it's actually not increasing right there. I'd like to see that start to increase, but it's a decent setup. This is very constructive right here. It's very, very good. Weekly, you know, generally good. Question is, the question is the monthly. The monthly is very, 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 very likely to, or at least this is what, at least it would suggest that it probably does make new ultimate before end of year. The question is it going to be October or November? And I don't have any bias towards that. Just generally end of year. This one looks really, really good. Hopefully that's helpful, sir. All right, Mr. Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Thoughts on Luna? Sure. Hey, no problem, man. No problem. This is not hard work. This is fun and play, man. This is fun time, sir. Make no mistake about it. Let's see, Luna, weird looking daily right there. Still, again, very, very good. Another altcoin that is certainly not a lagger. This one is strong. I think we looked at this one on the morning's video as well. Again, hidden bullish evidence come off the last daily low. You know, you're already around your prior highs. Typically, these lead to new ultimas, especially if it's combined with volatility, of which we already see that expanding. That's really, really good. Yeah, I generally like this one. Probably be looking for new ultimas, maybe even this month. It's weird on the monthly here. Quarterly, it's not really helpful. Like long term, this is really fucking good, man. There's absolutely nothing bearish about this thing, as long as it's above about $30. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to do this, but if it wants to correct, $30 where I'd be looking towards. But for what it's worth, all time frames are actually bullish here. It's really, really good. Really, really good. The Green Third Eye, what's up, man? Good morning, Mr. Derp. That's right, I'm Sir Derp, and good morning to you as well. Can you look at Solana? Yeah, 4 hour daily, weekly. Have I become Icarus here, or am I clear sailing for outer space? All right, let's check it out. Pretty damn good, man. And I have to fucking eat my words about this one because I was wrong about this one on the morning's live stream, actually. Solana looking really, really nice here. Clean breakout and looking for continuation, probably up towards 160, maybe 170 region short term. We're looking at it daily. Generally good as well. I mean, daily jewels get another upside curvature there. I want to see volatility start to expand on this because this you would expect that it would if this is going to expand from, or sorry, put in like a major low right here. What about a weekly? You know, long term, this one's obviously good. The question is, does this one correct further south before trying some more upside long term? That's where I kind of get stumped on this one because this one could very easily have a correction down to $100 or just below $100 actually. But I suppose there's no real threat of a move like that. Even especially as long as you're above 135, man. So that's kind of where I'd be looking for right now. For right now, short term and medium term is up, and very long term is up. Question is what like happens later this month. That I'm not so sure of right here. So a healthy amount of I don't know is the proper answer there. But long term, good, very very good. Hey, what's up, Lone? Oh man, what's up, man? Imagine being a member of several online communities and never learning how to actually trade for yourself. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. You got to, you know, at the end of the day, man, you got to be your own. You got to be your own authority. That's like the ultimate evolution as a trader, man. Like, or just as anything really, but especially like it's so fucking important with trading, obviously. Oh, you also got banned from a steak buffet as well. And by the way, good to see you, Mr. Lone Sophos. But yeah, man. Ken Brown says he's salty on orders not getting filled. I know, man. It always feels like that. But there's always a next trade, man. There's always a next trade. Let's see. Are we coming back down again? Are we coming back to? Are we gonna? Ooh, actually, looks like my scalpy is gonna work out. Not bad here. Hey, there we go. All right. Thank you for that, sirs. All right. Make sure this is actually closed here because I actually fucking realize that. Might even come back down. Might even come down a little bit lower, but don't want to get too greedy with this. Been a nice day. Oh shit. But yeah, man, actually that's like a really good kind of comment to harp on a little bit more. You know, Lone Sofas, but Krown. Yeah, man, you know, when it comes down to it, like this community here, or whatever you want to call this, you know, call it whatever you want to call it. You know, it's not like fucking follow the leader. That's gross and weird, and I'm not like a good leader anyways, man. You know, we'd all have to have like the exact same strategy in order for that to work. Just it's not going to be realistic, you know. Some people are trading the fucking 5 minutes, some people are trading the hourly, some people are trading the daily, some people are holding for the rest of their lives. You know, it's just a different thing. But the idea is you want to be able to come up with your own plan and then come to this community as like a colleague, you know, as like, okay, I'm a trader, but I also know a bunch of other traders. I can verify that they're successful. You know, they show their trades or whatever, you know, whatever they do to do that. And so I can value their opinion, but I don't put their opinion over mine. I just look at it as a valuable point of sort of, you know, of conference, like just coming in there and kind of sharing ideas essentially. And this community has been massively beneficial for myself, mostly because there's some fucking great guys in here, man. Like I learn a lot from some people in here. Man, Shubbo has something new for me every goddamn day with some that just, you know, looks actually really, really interesting, for example. And there's many guys like that as well. It's fucking great. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, sirs. We already looked at that. If I recall, it was a little bit more on the laggard side. Yep. There we go. Nice, good fill. All right. The day is good, my friends. The day is very good. And there she goes. There she goes. Even a little bit of a head and shoulders. Yeah, this one probably does come down a little bit lower. Oh, I should have been more greedy. All right, Martin Hunt. We can look at algo. 1 hour, 4 hour. Okay. Algo. Dean. All right. And yeah, man, I'm not interested in holding any shorts exactly from this area right here, or today, that is. If I'm going to short, it's going to be like next week. 1 hour, 4 hour daily. Still working on lower highs here, even on the short-term time frames, man. Kind of like, this is what kind of has me concerned right here. Not a big fan of this one as long as you're below about 185, but let's look at the longer term. Longer term, pretty good. Daily is actually really, really good here. In fact, I'll probably take back a lot of what I just said right there. Daily, hidden bullish, everyone's come off that last low. I really want to see volatility start to tick up. That would be the next sort of key that I'd be looking for in order for this one to start to mount an assault somewhere around about $2 or so. Weekly, generally long-term good, but still kind of in a corrective phase here. Monthly, same thing. Long-term, very, very good. Can easily come down to, you know, $1.50, and I'd be looking at that as a nice opportunity long-term. If I was trading like that, but for right now, short term, probably be looking for it to pop back down towards 173 or so. Hard one to love short term, especially as long as you're below that last high right there. And it's usually not the best sign to not really see a lot of these altcoins following like in a similar fashion of Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin just put in a mega move right there. Most of the things that we looked at today have not, which interesting to say the least. What's up, Craig Martinez? Could you take a look at AVAX? Sure. And FTM. All right. Let's see. I wonder how long my voice is going to last for today. I think I have both of these on my charts already. AVAX, long-term good. But again, man, like, look at this one. Barely joined in the upside rally. Barely fucking joined on that. Needs to hold 66 and a quarter. Otherwise, I'd be looking at this as a bit of a short-term trap. And this one comes back down to mid 50s. If that fails, that would not be bad for the long term, though. I mean, this is fucking strong. Super, super good long term. But weird to see that this one has not followed, because this was like one of the strongest ones, especially for the last couple months here. Really, really good. I'm not sure what to make out of that just yet. Again, you know, I'd have my level set on this one, but if it fails below that level, I'd be looking towards mid 50s for a bounce, but I wouldn't be looking for a low there. I'd be